Let's take a look at a feature in Next.js that I feel like some people don't really know about it, but it can actually be very helpful in terms of organization as well as functionality in your Next.js apps. And the feature I'm discussing is route groups. So the first example of this is we have our application here. And if you look at our different routes, we have a cart route with a page.jsx page, order confirmation with a page, profile with a page, and shop with a page. One of these routes doesn't really group with the other routes, if that makes sense. So what do I mean? Well, the cart, order confirmation, and shop page, these would all fall into a commerce section of our application. Toward the profile, it's kind of separate from that. We might not want the same layout or the same loading page and really just the same organization from a project structure perspective for our profile that we do our other pages. So the way that we can kind of organize this a little bit better is we can add a route group. It's going to be adding a new folder. So I'm going to click new folder, but you're going to add it with parentheses. So I'm going to say commerce and close parentheses. And then what I can do here is I can put the cart page in my commerce folder. I can put order confirmation in the commerce folder, and I can put shop in the commerce folder. And now we have a nicely organized project structure here to where we have our profile, and then we have our cart, order confirmation, and shop all in this commerce folder. Now, you might be thinking to yourself right now, why didn't I just add a normal folder here? Why did I put parentheses around it and create a route group? Well, the interesting thing about this is that this way of creating a folder, creating a route group, it doesn't change the URL path whatsoever. So we might not want the URL path of /commerce/cart and /commerce/ order confirmation. We might want to keep our just /cart/ order confirmation /shop without the commerce in front of it. And that's exactly what this does. When adding a route group, so a folder with parentheses, you are not going to be changing your URL path whatsoever. So if we come back and I refresh my page here, you see I'm still at my shop page. If I try to access /commerce/shop, I'm going to get a 404 because that doesn't exist. We didn't add anything to our URL path when adding a route group. And if I go to /cart, you see I didn't add anything to it. We still navigate directly to our cart page. So just for the sake of organization, doing something like a route group can be really helpful. But not only for organization, but for overall functionality, it can be helpful as well. Because what if we wanted to add a custom layout or a custom loading indicator for these 3 pages, but we didn't want to add it to our profile page? Well, an easy way to do that is we add all 3 of these folders into a route group, and then I can just add a layout to our route group. So I can add a layout.jsx here, and then this commerce layout here, you can see it's just at the root of our commerce route group. This layout is going to be applied to these 3 route segments here. So we can basically add a new route segment without really affecting the URL path with a route group. And I already created this beforehand, but all I did here was basically create a header that has links to our shop, cart, and order confirmation. And then we render the children out, just a very basic layout. But this layout here within my commerce route group is going to now be applied to all the route segments or folders within my commerce route group. So if I come back to my application here, we can see I now have this header layout for my shop, my cart, and my order confirmation pages. But if I go to my profile page, you see that I no longer have that header because it only is going to apply this layout to my commerce route group. And you could do the very same thing with a custom loading indicator or something like that. So conceptually here, you can use a route group, which is basically just creating a folder in your Next.js app with parentheses around the name of your folder. And that is a way to organize different route segments or other folders within your application without changing the path of the URL at all. So you can see we don't go to the /commerce/shop. It's just straight to shop still. So you can organize stuff. And then also, if you need to add additional functionality to some of your routes or even to just a single route, you can do that by adding a route group and then adding a layout.jsx or a loading page to your route group. And then that's a nice way to add a layout or loading or some other functionality without actually affecting your URL path whatsoever. So conceptually here, just remember that if you're ever in a situation to where it's like, man, I would really like to organize some pages together, but I don't really want to change my URL. I don't want to just add a folder that's going to change my URL to organize these pages, or I want to add a layout, but I don't want to change my URL. Well, that's where a route group is going to come in handy and is probably going to be the solution or the tool that you reach for when you want to do something like that. So hopefully this is clear. Let me know if you have any questions below about route groups. I'll do my best to answer them, and I'll see you in that next one.